Have you ever really gotten your hopes up about something only to be completely let down? Like when you're young and you get a balloon and you're just so excited to have that balloon. But then, out of nowhere, it pops. Talk about a letdown. Or maybe you've been looking forward to this new movie for so long and then it finally comes out and it's just terrible. It's not even a good movie. Letdown. Or maybe you really wanted something for your birthday, so you keep hinting at it more and more as your birthday gets closer. Then your birthday finally comes, and you see a beautifully wrapped present that seems to be the size of that thing that you've been wanting. So you tear into the wrapping paper, so excited, and it's just a pair of socks. Wool socks. Socks? That is what we would call a letdown. You had your hopes up really high, and ultimately, you were completely let down. Nobody likes being let down. In the story of Elisha and the Shunammite woman's son, the Shunammite woman was completely let down. When Elisha told her that she would have a son, the first thing she did was convey that she did not want to get her hopes up. She said, no way, don't you lie to me. Her husband was a pretty old guy, and based on her reaction to Elisha's words, they probably had given up on trying to have kids a long time ago. She probably had hopes of having a son once, but those were long gone by now, so she didn't want to get her hopes up again. But sure enough, a year later she had a son, and her hopes were finally realized. But it didn't last long. As she held her dying son in her arms, she was crushed. She was totally and completely let down. The first thing she said to Elisha when she saw him was, "Didn't I tell you not to get my hopes up? I didn't ask for a son." Some of us are in a similar position as the Shunammite woman. We got our hopes up. Things were going so well. And all of a sudden, we got let down. Maybe you lost a family member too. Maybe your parents got a divorce. Maybe you needed healing and you didn't get it. Whatever it may be, you feel like God let you down. Some people never make it past this point. They get so focused on the things that they lost that they're actually afraid to ever hope again because they don't want to be let down again. They get so focused on wondering things like, why didn't God come through for me? I prayed for healing. I prayed that my parents wouldn't get a divorce. I prayed that my mom or dad wouldn't lose their job. Why didn't my prayers work? You see, the truth is, just like we were all once filled with sin, we live in a world that's filled with sin. And that sin brings sickness, death, and all sorts of other hardships. Also, we have an enemy called the devil that is actively working against us. He's the worst. He loves to see bad things happen to people. But Jesus said this in John 16:33. "In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." You see, if the Shunammite woman had stayed focused on her son that had died and why it had happened, she never would have experienced such an amazing miracle. Was she sad? Yes, and that's okay. But she didn't keep her focus there. Instead, she shifted her focus to the man of God, Elisha. She had been let down, but she had a new hope that Elisha would be able to raise her son back to life. This is what Jesus is asking us to do in John 16:33. He lays it out there. In this world, we're gonna have problems. But take heart, here's your hope. I have overcome the world. Jesus is saying, keep your eyes on me. Bad stuff's gonna happen, but that's okay because this life, it's only temporary. I've overcome it. I just need you to trust me. Put your hope in me. It's worth it. We have to do what the Shunammite woman did and stop focusing on the thing that let us down and shift our focus to our new hope, Jesus. When we put our hope in Jesus, our problems may not magically disappear. We will still have trouble. But there is a day coming where Jesus will make everything new. Wrongs will be made right. Troubles will cease to exist, and we will get to spend forever with Jesus. 2 Corinthians 4:16-18 says this, That is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day. For our present troubles are small and won't last very long, yet they produce for us a glory that vastly outweighs them and will last forever. So we don't look at the troubles that we can see now. Rather, we fix our eyes on things that cannot be seen. For the things we see now will soon be gone, but the things we cannot see will last forever. Guys, it takes a lot of trust to stop focusing on those things that let us down and to say, God, I don't know why this happened, but I place my hope in you. I know it's hard sometimes to get past that thing that let you down, but like our verse said, never give up. Ask God to help you trust him, and he will. If we put our trust and our hope in Jesus, it will all be worth it. So when bad things happen, fix your eyes on Jesus. The troubles may not always cease to exist here and now, but we can trust that there is a day coming where Jesus fixes everything. That's the hope that we have. Now here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that this world is terrible and we should just wait it out until Jesus comes back. Maybe you feel like you can't have joy right now in this world. Maybe you feel like you can't have peace. Maybe you feel like you can't trust people. But when we focus on Jesus and our relationship with him, he does promise that in this life, here and now, in the midst of all of our troubles, we can have joy. We can have peace. And we can have these things because they don't come from this world. They come from our relationship with him. Even when things let us down, we can still trust Jesus every day.